In the quiet afternoon of April 14th, 2023, a young basketball star, Corey Mumford, would find himself gasping for air after being struck multiple times by bullets. He wouldn't get to experience his senior prom, his graduation, and pursue his dream of being a pro basketball player. Mumford's life was taken too soon and would shake his family and the community of Laurel, Delaware, leaving them grieving so unexpectedly and violently.
Teammate Brock Hill could say one thing to Corey Mumford.
We love you and we miss you.
This is a story about a young man who was robbed of his opportunity to experience the world.
He wore the number 00 on his basketball game jersey, and his father tells me what it meant to the standout teen.
0 fears, 0 regrets. Bet on yourself, double or nothing.
I don't know if he came up with it per se, but it sounds like him. It feels like him.
It's the motto 18-year-old Corey Mumford's dad says his son lived by.
Corey Jalen Mumford was born February 3rd, 2005 in Seaford, Delaware, to his mother Tisha Horsey of Laurel, Delaware, and father Robert Corey Mumford of Seaford. Corey attended Laurel High School in Laurel, Delaware, and made a name for himself in the Laurel community, being an outstanding player for the high school basketball team, and made an impact on everyone.
The 6'6" senior forward was coming off of a stellar year, named first team All-Henlopen South, honorable mention All-State, and saving his best performance for one of the biggest stages, the annual Blue Gold All-Star Game, where he was named the game's MVP.
Honestly, that was the best game I've ever seen Corey play.
My son said, "Daddy, I got him."
Like, he took it up another level.
Family and friends said he loved spending time with them, especially his sisters, cousin, and his niece, who he called Monster. He was very active in his niece's life and was a positive role model for her.
To see him, in the community, or with his little niece who had him wrapped around his finger, he was just a big teddy bear. But to get on the basketball court, he was a grizzly bear.
On April 14th, 2023, in the afternoon at Wexford Village Apartments, Jalir Henry, Donregas Holland, Shaheem Latham Purnell arrived in 2 vehicles, one being a Volkswagen and an Audi, backed in, perfectly parked right next to each other. In another car that was already in the complex was 4 people: Nakia Jacobs, Asante Loughlin, Keyshawn Copes, and Kylie Robinson. Copes noticed the Volkswagen and Audi when they parked, and immediately got out the car and ran to the back of Building 105 of Wexford Village Apartments. A few seconds after, Jalir Henry and his crew exited their cars, and shots were fired. At the time, Nakia Jacobs noticed 2 men. The first man was taller, masked up, and wearing a white hoodie and jeans. The second male, Jalir Henry, was wearing a gray hoodie with blue and yellow shorts, and would later be identified by Nakia. Jalir then approached the front of Jacob's car and shot in the air in the direction of another building. This would be key evidence later from when the police would find the shell casings and identify the weapon. Henry then went to the back of Building 105, where additional shots were fired. In the back of Building 105 was Larry Horsey, Tyree Cornish, and Corey Mumford. At the time this was going on, Horsey would hear someone come to the side of the building saying Gasping, which is Jalir Henry's nickname, and was coming to shoot. That someone that Horsey heard was Keyshawn Copes, who initially was in Nakia Jacobs' car, but had ran to the back of Building 105 to warn them. Horsey saw the shooter with a black handgun in his hand. Numerous 9mm shell casings were found in the backyard, and 9mm casings were recovered from Corey Mumford's body. Horsey later identified Shaheem Latham Purnell as Mumford's shooter. At the moment, Horsey ran from Mumford's shooting and saw a third unidentified shooter on the opposite side of the building, where there was also 40 caliber shell casings. What would you do in this situation if you were Horsey? Let us know in the comments. Tyree Cornish, who was also present of the shooting, saw 3 to 4 shooters, and later identified one of them as Jalir Henry. There was clear evidence that there was at least 3 shooters, and 2 of them being Shaheem Latham Purnell and Jalir Henry. After the shooting, the assailants quickly left at the same time behind one another. Nakia Jacobs went to the back of Building 105, where she would find Corey Mumford laying on the ground, gasping for air. After desperate attempts by the police to save Corey Mumford until the EMS could arrive, Mumford unfortunately succumbed to his injuries to gunshot wounds at a nearby hospital.
I'm so heartbroken. My heart is so heavy. More so, I am so angry because this was senseless.
A family, a community devastated following the death of rising basketball star Corey Mumford.
You know, we should be planning his prom and graduation and college moving day, and today I'm planning a funeral for my son.
A sudden and tragic loss of life of a figure who was well known and loved in the Sussex County community.
Morals, values. He was a pillar in this community.
We love you, and we miss you.
The autopsy will reveal that 9 shots entered Mumford's body out of 22 shell casings that were found. But why would his assailants, Jaleel Henry and Shaheem Purnell, take Corey Mumford's life? What was their motive? What was going on between this group of people?
Delaware State Police confirms Mumford was not the target of Friday's shooting. It comes as no surprise to those close to the high school senior.
Yeah, it was unexpected. I wasn't really, that wasn't on my mind that day. Just hearing that news, for real, wasn't on my mind. Didn't think I'd hear that, but my own cousin, you feel me?
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't expect that to happen. Nobody expected that to happen.
And just before a pivotal time in Corey's life.
He was a role model. Everybody looked up to him like he was about to go to college and stuff. Everybody was looking up to him. He was about to be like one of the first ones that got out of Laurel.
Corey had morals, values, and principles. He wasn't just some hooligan just running around here without guidance.
It's why this grieving father is still trying to understand why his son was the victim of senseless gun violence.
Everybody's mother and father should not be made to feel like I feel. You know, they should not have to feel like this. You know, it feels a lot better picking out graduation cars than caskets.
As for today's arrest in the case, Corey Sr. says real justice is still far from being served.
Justice would be for all the assailants in this case, or all the people who did my son harm, even accomplice, for all of them to come to justice, to stand in front of somebody and give account for what happened to my boy.
Delaware State Police Homicide Unit took over the case. And quickly after, on April 21st, 2023, Jaleel Henry, at 27 years old, would find himself arrested in Salisbury, Maryland, after a search warrant was granted for a home on Johnson Road.
A man has been arrested in the shooting death of high school student Corey Mumford. Delaware State Police say Jaleel Henry was taken into custody around noon today in Salisbury. He is now awaiting extradition to Delaware. Investigators say he was involved in the April 14th shooting at the Wexford apartment complex in Laurel. He is expected to face first-degree murder charges, also first-degree conspiracy, and others. Investigators say they are working to identify other suspects.
A month later, on May 18th, 2023, Darigas Holland, 28 years old, was arrested in Maryland as well. And lastly, on June 12th, 2023, the third suspect, Shaheem Latham Purnell, 21 years old, of Laurel, Delaware, was arrested in Salisbury, Maryland. On May 30th, 2024, Purnell pleaded guilty to manslaughter and firearm possession. In June 2024, the trial was concluded. Darigas Holland was acquitted of all charges, and Henry was found guilty on all charges. And finally, for the sentencing on November 22nd, 2024, Shaheem Latham Purnell was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Jaleel Henry was sentenced to life in prison plus 39 years and 3 months.
4 mothers, 4 different stories, 1 plea for justice.
My son was shot in the community which we grew up since Pampers.
He was killed on April 14th. He was gunned down in broad daylight.
As the moms continue their search for answers for their sons, Horsey urges you to take a step back and see things from her perspective.
you don't want this to happen to you. You don't want it to be your baby next. So if we don't stop this now, it's very likely that the next time that we gather here, you may be one of the mothers standing up here crying for justice.
Corey Mumford's death left a huge impact on the community.
A ceremony was held at the Ocean City Recreation Complex this morning in honor of the young Laurel athlete Corey Mumford, who passed away at just 18 years old after being murdered in April of this year. In between games during the beach-bound basketball tournament, a ceremony was held in his honor with the Laurel community and the boys basketball team. Mumford's teammates gathered at midcourt and signed 2 honorary basketballs, with one going to Mumford's family and the other to Laurel High School. The tournament also took donations from observers in hopes of starting a scholarship fund at the school in his name. Away from the action, Laurel players Kyron Roberts and Joelle Parker, along with assistant coach David King, talked about this bittersweet day.
Just like coming from a town like this and supporting a friend that shouldn't have, like, yeah.
It just shows how many people he touched for real when he was alive, man. Like everybody knew Corey. Everybody knew how, like, even if you never played basketball with him, you knew he just put a smile on your face. And then to see all these people just come out and see us play, just show how many people he touched and how many people he really related to.
It's a very special moment to me and the players. Corey knew everyone from elementary school all the way up to high school. Everyone looked up and admired Corey. His big personality, his great smile. It's very touching for us to be able to come honor him today.
What do you want to remember about him?
His smile. His smile.
Laurel and tournament organizers are hoping that the scholarship will be $2,000.
Teacher Amy Handy launched Operation West Laurel following Corey's death, mobilizing prayer walks, trash pickups, and after-school programs. The group received a $93,000 grant from Healthy Communities Delaware, alongside End the Community Violence Now, to expand their efforts, including community gardens and beautification. Mayor Carlos Olivares supports these efforts. He even dubbed the town's slogan, "Love Where You Live." And since June 2024, Laurel has not experienced a fatal shooting, a mark of progress and community resilience. Rest in peace, Corey Mumford, and sorry for the loss of the family. Thank you guys for tuning in to First Take Crime. This channel is meant to bring awareness to the names that are unfortunately lost in Delaware, so I hope that you guys keep coming back and leave feedback in the comments. Tune in for next week's video. We'll see you soon.